More help with fractions. So here I have 3 different situations. And I want you to notice that this group, these are cut into thirds, 1, 2, 3 pieces. So if we're going to talk about these, it's going to be denominators of 3. This has 4 pieces. Each one is cut into 4 pieces. So the denominator is going to be 4 for each one of these. And then here they're cut into 2 pieces, so the denominator is going to be 2. Now, up here, since we've used all 3 of the pieces, remember the top number is how much you've used. So we've used 3 out of 3 here, and we've used 2 out of 3 here. So here all together, again, the bottom has to stay a 3, so we could say that we've used 5 out of 3, meaning more than one whole thing and then some extras of the other one. So the other way we could look at it is 1 whole thing, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then 2 divided by 3 isn't a whole one yet, so we'll call this just 2/3 still. So 1 and 2/3. So these are the 2 names of what we can call these objects here. We can call this 5/3, or we can call it 1 and 2/3. So here we've used all 4 of the 4 pieces. We've used all 4 of the 4 pieces, and we've used 3 of the 4 pieces here. Well, this can be a 1, this can be a 1, and of course this isn't all used, so we're not going to call it 1. So notice that we can either call this, let's see, 4 plus 4 is 8 plus 3. We could call this 11/4. The denominator doesn't change. We don't add the denominators because we want to show how many pieces just one of them was broken into. That's always the denominator. And then we added up how many of the little pieces we colored in. That'd be 11. Or we can say we had 1 whole here, 1 whole here. That makes 2 whole with 3/4. So 2 and 3/4. And then here we have 2 out of 2 colored in, which is the same as saying 1 whole thing. Same thing happened here, and the same thing happened here. And then over here we just had 1 out of the 2 colored in. So if we just kept it as fractions only, we didn't do mixed numbers, we'd say 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5 out of 2 in each group. Or we could say we have a total of 2.5. Now there's another way to change this top fraction into the bottom fraction. It's by saying what is 5 divided by 3. And when you do that in long division like this, 3 fits into 5 1 whole time. And then you multiply these 2. And then you subtract. So 2. So we have a remainder of 2. So we have 1 whole with a remainder of 2. And that 2 forms a fraction like this, which is what we had here, 1 and 2/3. Same thing could happen here. This is 11 divided by 4. 4 goes into 11 2 times because 2 times 4 is 8 with 3 left over. So the leftovers form the fraction, 2 and 3/4, just like we had here. Same thing down here. If we have to turn this into a mixed number, we say 5 divided by 2. 2 goes into 5 2 whole times. 2 times 2 is 4. We'll subtract that. So we had 2 whole times with 1 out of 2 left over. But if we started with the mixed number and we had to turn it back into the top heavy one, then what we're going to do is go around like this. Around the fraction, you're going to multiply and then you're going to add. So when I go around this, like that, it's 3 times 1 plus 2. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. And so it would be 5 on top, but the bottom stays the 3. See how that turned that right back into that? So we'll do it again here. You're going to go around this. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 plus 3 is 11. 11 goes on top, but we keep the bottom the same. Down here, going around, we've got 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. So 5 over 2 is equivalent to 2 1/2.